welcome back to my channel. I know it's only been a few weeks, maybe 1 or 2 since I've uploaded a video, but as you can tell by the title, yes, I gave birth to my baby boy, which you might hear in the back whining a little bit. Hopefully not, because I just fed him. But guys, I am so over the moon, a little tired, and always hungry because I am breastfeeding, nursing. So your body needs all the calories because you are burning calories every time you breastfeed. So that's why I'm always hungry. Anyways, if this is your first time here, my name is Maite, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me at Maite Bates. Follow your girl, okay, to keep up with everyday updates via stories, posts, and all that good stuff. Anyways, I am so excited to be even speaking about this experience because I prayed about it. I spoke it into existence, and I hate to use the word manifested it because everyone's overusing that word these days. But as a Christian, I believe in speaking things into existence and believing God for great things. And that's exactly what this story is about. Thank you for joining me in advance. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and leave a comment on what you believe in, how this made you feel, if you're expecting, if you had a bad experience, if you're hoping to have a better experience, and all of that good stuff. So I did post a question box on my Instagram, so I will go over them once I've already told my story, just in case I've covered it. I don't want to have to repeat it. So let's get right into my supernatural childbirth experience for the second time. So it all started July 20th at 9 p.m. I started feeling what I thought were Braxton Hicks, and they started coming very often. So I'm like, these are not Braxton Hicks because they're happening way too often. So I told Eric, I'm like, these kind of feel like the contractions that I felt when I was going into labor with Haley. He's like, okay, let's start tracking them. So I tracked them for an hour, and if I look at my phone, it's because I'm looking at the notes that I took, because the day after I gave birth, I took notes just so I won't forget any of the details. Anyway, so I tracked what I thought were contractions for an hour. So from 9 to 10, I tracked it. There was no pattern. So I'm like, okay. So then from 10 to 11, I tracked for another hour. So that's 2 hours. I told Eric, I'm like, yeah, I really think I'm in labor. So he said, go ahead and call the on-call doctor, which I did. And she said to wait another hour to see if there's a pattern every 2 to 3 minutes. And I was just like, I don't think that's a good idea, because I prayed and I believed in a supernatural childbirth, and I prayed to God that my experience would be shorter than it was with Haley's, and I just knew that's what was gonna happen. So I told Eric, I was like, yeah. So Eric suggested we head to the hospital. So then we text our doula, and I told her, I was like, hey, I've been tracking my contractions for the past 2 hours, and we are headed to the hospital because, again, I'm believing that this is going to go by really fast. We packed the rest of the things in the car. There was just so much that I was just like, you know what, forget it. My makeup bag, my diffuser, so many of the things that I had listed in my hospital bag video. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch it. I'll link it up right here. So many things I was just like, you know what, forget it. I don't need those things. So we go ahead, pack everything in the car. Since it was late, we asked our neighbor to watch Haley. So we dropped Haley off. Thank goodness. Thank you so much. You guys, you know who you are if you do watch my videos. Thank you so much for watching our baby girl during this crazy time. Anyway, so we dropped Haley off and we went ahead and headed to the hospital. The reason why we chose not to wait the full hour that the doctor suggested was because we live 40 minutes from the hospital. And the way things were going, I was just like, no, we cannot take any chances. If anything, we could just chill in the parking lot and go in whenever things start getting crazy. So we head to the hospital. Eric is like wanting to speed, and I'm just like, it's not that serious, but at the same time, Every contraction I'm feeling, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. Through the entire time, I am breathing, breathing, breathing. That's what my doula taught me. So that's exactly what I was doing. We get to the hospital and I'm like, I need to pee. So I tell Eric, I'm like, I need to pee. I need to go inside and see if the security will let us pee, because they told us to go through the emergency room, and we're like, no. The security said yes, that I could use the bathroom. Then I use the bathroom and I'm having contractions in the bathroom. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see a picture of me in a pink dress that Eric took while I was using the bathroom. And I was literally having a contraction, literally. And I was like, oh my gosh. We're about to leave that entrance of the hospital, and the security guard said we can take the elevator up to the maternity ward. So that's exactly what we did. By the time I got there, my doula hadn't got there yet. So by the time we got there, our doula was not there yet. I did not want to do anything without her. Like, she's the one advocating for me, and I was just like, no, I don't want to do anything without her. So I started just filling out my paperwork. She finally got there and they were like, okay, do you want to get checked now? And I was like, no. It was like it was past midnight. It was almost 1 in the morning. I said, no, I think I want to wait till 1 just to get a little more time. So then finally I gave in, and they went to check me, and I was 7 centimeters dilated. I was like, oh my gosh. I was praying for 9, 8 or 9, but 7 was just fine. So they took me to the triage, they checked me, and they hooked me up, monitored the baby and all that good stuff. And then Eric comes in, and I tell him like, dude, 7 centimeters. So I'm like going through these contractions, and I think I timed about 30 to 35 minutes of contractions, like every few minutes. And I had this urge that I wanted to push. So the nurse is like, let me check you to see how many centimeters you are now. And it was just 30 minutes later, and I was already 9.5 centimeters. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really about to happen. And I'm like looking at Eric when I get a contraction. I'm like, dude, I cannot do this. I can't do this. And to answer the question, I went without epidural, just like my first birthing experience. No epidural, no medicine, just breathing through every single contraction. And towards the end, I'm looking at Eric. I'm like, I cannot do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. And giving birth is a mindset thing. If you have read the book Supernatural Childbirth, like, that's what it talks about. It is a mindset thing. It is a faith-based thing. And Eric just kept telling me, like, you've done this before. You've done this before. You can do it again. Just breathe through it, breathe through it. And that's what I kept doing. And the hospital at this point was packed with people giving birth. Like, people just had to give birth on the same day as me, because they didn't have a room for me to give birth in. So they're like scrambling. They finally got a room. We go to the room, and they're like, the bed is not the kind of bed that we need for you, because you give birth to big babies. And I'm like, what the heck? I've never heard of that. I didn't even know there were different kind of beds. So they were like, no, we can't leave you in this room. We have to take you to another room. And I'm like pushing on the stretcher bed. I'm literally pushing on this bed, because like this baby is ready to come. At this point, it is like 1:35, maybe 1:45. And they finally get me to a room. They move me to the bed. I think it was like 5 or 10 minutes before I'm like, I'm about to push. Like, I'm not waiting on anyone. So I tell my doula, like, I'm about to push. And I actually had requested a birthing bar, which is a bar they put like over the bed, and you hold on and you can squat, because I did not want to give birth laying down this time. Last time I had a 4-degree tear, which is ridiculous, and the healing process was unbearable. It took me so long to heal. And I did some research, and they said that squatting, obviously with the help of gravity, is so much easier to give birth that way. And I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. Well, that wasn't the case. By the time it was time for me to push, I was sitting up like this, like exactly how I am right now. I was sitting up. I was like, I'm gonna push like this, forget the birthing bar. And they were like, okay, she could push like that. And this time I had only a 2-degree tear, which is a lot smaller, and I feel so much better. I ended up pushing out the sac first. They were like, oh, like they were just looking, and I'm like, I felt it, like I felt it come out, like that relief. And I'm like, is that the baby? And Eric is like, no, it's just your sac. And I was like, wow. And then right after that, I felt the urge to push, and I pushed the baby out, and he came out so fast. It just all went by so fast. All in total, I was in labor for about 6.5 hours. Started at 9 p.m. Baby was born at 2:19 in the morning, and after that it was just like my world changed. We were crying, and it was just a supernatural experience, like feeling the Holy Spirit in there, feeling like his promises being fulfilled and answered prayers, and it was just all beautiful. My son ended up being 8 pounds 5 ounces. Like, I knew he was going to be big. I thought he was going to be bigger than Haley, but thank God that wasn't the case, because I was not ready for that. He was 20 inches long, and I am so happy he's being quiet right now. I did not want to make this video super long like the last one, so that's pretty much it for my experience. For those of you that don't know what a supernatural childbirth is, pretty much it's just you having faith and believing that you will have a good experience, that you will not be in pain, that you will not feel any pain. However, you do have to understand that your body is, like, you're still a human. So for me, it was more so telling myself, like, my muscles have to do these things, you know. I will feel it. I will not call it pain. I will just call it exactly what it is, which is a contraction. So that's exactly what I was doing. I never said, oh, I'm in pain. I would probably say I have discomfort down here. Okay, guys, forgive me. My memory card had no more space, so I totally forgot where I was at. But I was explaining what a supernatural childbirth is. So pretty much it's just believing in the experience that you do want to have. As women, we were made for this, and not bashing anyone that wants to use medicine or epidurals or whatever the case may be, but really just experiencing what God has created us for. Some women have higher tolerance, pain tolerance than others, and some don't, and that's totally okay. So if you have not read the book Supernatural Childbirth, I'll link it down below. Read it whether you want more kids or not, because you can use these prayers to pray over people. I've prayed over so many of my girlfriends, so many of my IG followers. I've recommended the book to so many people, and so many of them have believed in it and have had great experiences giving birth, and I just think it's beautiful all in all. So let's go ahead and get into these questions and see if I didn't answer any of them throughout the video. One of the questions was, how did Eric do in the delivery room? He did great. He did great with Haley, and he did great with baby EJ. He's so calm. He's just a calm person all around, so he did really good. He's always helpful. He's always so excited. Another question was, did they have any COVID precautions preventing Eric or anyone from being present? Pretty much you were only allowed 2 people. So my husband and my doula, no guests were allowed. So that's pretty much it. How long was your labor this time compared to last time? Again, this time was like 6.5 hours. Last time it was 7.5 hours, I believe. Someone said, how much did baby boy weigh? He weighed 8 pounds 5 ounces. How is having a boy different from having a girl? Well, I've only been a boy mom for a week. So really can't say much of a difference right now, besides, you know, dressing him up and dressing her up. So that's pretty much it. Any prep courses you took and whether or not you found them helpful? No, I didn't take any prep courses this time around with Haley. I took a nursing, breastfeeding course and giving birth course. They were just really informative. I don't think it's stuff that you don't know already, you know. I mean, I do a lot of research, so you might be different, but if you do a lot of research and stuff like that, yeah, it's nothing that you won't know already. Was your first experience the same as this one? They were very similar, very similar. They both went really quickly. They both were just supernatural, and I was able to really experience everything as I went through it. This time around, I was really intentional about staying focused and just really experiencing it, you know? Was it just as painful the second time as the first time? No, because I'm not using the word pain. However, the contractions were definitely a lot stronger this time. At least I believe they were a lot stronger this time. Maybe because it happened so much quicker, I felt them a lot faster than I did with Haley. With Haley, I think I tracked the first two hours and I really didn't feel much discomfort With baby boy, I definitely felt the discomfort hour 1. Was it natural? If you did the epidural, does it hurt? Yes, natural, no epidural. Did you use a doula this time around? Yes, we used our same doula from last time. How long were you in labor for? Like I said, 6.5 hours. I started getting contractions at 9 p.m., gave birth at 2 a.m. Were you scheduled for an induction or was it natural? It was natural. I just went into labor naturally. I prayed for that and that's what God gave me. How many weeks were you? I was 39 weeks and 1 day. Which birth was easier, Haley or EJ? I really can't tell. To be honest, I think they were both done. Actually, EJ's was quicker. With Haley, I think I had to push. They directed me to push 3 different times. With EJ, I literally pushed on my own. No one told me what to do. I was just ready to push and I pushed him out. So his was definitely much easier. First delivery compared to the second delivery. Again, they were very, very similar. EJ's was a lot quicker. I just felt like a pro, like I knew what I was doing this time around. With Haley, I never mentioned wanting the epidural. With EJ, the contractions were so strong. I told Eric, I'm like, I can't do this. Did you have a doula? How did you manage the pain during natural delivery? Yes, I had a doula. She helped us the first time around, so everything she taught me and Eric with Haley's birthing experience, I used with this one. So pretty much just breathing a lot, breathing really slowly, not the that you see in movies. No, like I literally was breathing like this, like literally. So she'll look me in the eye and say, breathe slowly. How was your labor and delivery nurse and care team experience? It was just a great experience. They're so nice, so welcoming. You feel loved, you know what I'm saying? Someone said delivery position. Did you eat? Natural or C-section? Epidural? How long? Complications? No complications. I actually was eating a baked potato at 9 p.m. and when I started feeling the contractions, I actually could not eat anymore, and actually I started throwing up. Yeah, so I wanted to throw up and I ended up throwing up in the hospital a few different times. And actually I was also throwing up with Haley when I was pregnant with Haley. So I don't know what it is, but I definitely was throwing up. I definitely was triggered, and no complications at all. Anyways, so that's it for the questions that I had on Instagram. This was a video a few of you were asking for that are actually expecting. So really quick, I just want to say I pray that your delivery experience is beautiful. Even if you get an epidural or any medication, I pray that you and baby are safe. I pray that you enjoy every second of it, and that your team is supportive, that they listen to what you want, that your spouse or whomever will be with you is supportive and just there for you. And I pray you and baby come out safely. So with that being said, leave a comment, make sure to subscribe, like this video, share this video with someone who is expecting, and take it all in. I'm just giving great faith and good vibes to all of you. And thanks for watching. And to my baby boy, whenever you see this video in the future, just know that mama loves you, and every bit of contraction that I felt was worth it for you. I love you so much, and your mama was fine, okay? Whenever you see this video, look at me, okay? Anyways, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me at mytapebates. Leave a comment, DM me. I try to answer all of my DMs. And don't forget to subscribe, okay? I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.